Hi there, students. To inveigh and to inveigle. These words are both verbs. Okay, to inveigh means to complain angrily against, to protest strongly, to angrily speak against something and show your disapproval. To rail against, if you like. So you're speaking against something with strong language. So he's always inveighing against the inequalities of society. He's always inveighing against the practices of the large oil companies. Okay, so this is to talk against something, but angrily and strongly, using strong language and being very upset about it. Notice, it's normally to inveigh against something, but you can use the verb to inveigh about. So he was inveighing about the injustice that the teacher had committed on him the other day. He was inveighing about the punishment that he had received. That bloody teacher, he's always so unfair to me. He always thinks that I've done it wrong. Okay, so that's the idea of to inveigh. To inveigle, however, is very different. To inveigle is to persuade somebody to do something, either by using trickery, deception, or flattery. So, to inveigle, to trick somebody into doing something, or to be really nice to them and say how wonderful they are. You're so good at this and I'm so bad at it. Do you think you could do it for me? Let's see, to inveigle has the idea of getting someone to do something that's perhaps not in their best interests. So to inveigle somebody into doing something. He inveigled me into spending my whole day helping him instead of doing the work that I should have been doing. The company inveigled its workers into working harder for less money. So it's got the idea of to persuade someone to do something using trickery, using compliments and flattery. He inveigled me into buying his old car. I should never have bought it. Yeah? He inveigled me into accompanying him to this party which was unbelievably boring. Okay, so to trick someone or to persuade someone, to bamboozle, if you like. Bamboozling would be a method of inveigling. Yeah, it's to get someone to do what you want them to do, even though it's probably not what they should be doing. I don't know, the government tried to inveigle us into voting for them. They show themselves as wonderful, and then they make themselves out as wonderful. And if they manage to get us to believe it, then they have inveigled us into voting for them, to approving what they do. So, to inveigh against, to talk against, to shout against, to complain loudly and strongly. I'm really unhappy about this because it's cost far too much money and it's taken far too long to do. He inveighed against the shop assistant because his order had taken much, much longer than the shop assistant had promised. He then tried to inveigle the shop assistant into giving him his money back, but she refused. So, both inveigh and inveigle are regular verbs. He inveighed, he has inveighed. She inveigled, she has inveigled. Now, formality. I think both of these are formal words. I don't think you could use either of these in an informal conversation in the pub. I think to inveigh informally, to complain against strongly, to shout against, and then to inveigle, to persuade or to trick unfairly, something like that. Okay? He tricked me into doing it. He inveigled me into doing it. I think tricked is a good word. So I think I'd probably give maybe inveigh 7.58. Inveigle probably the same, 7.5 or 8 in formality. So something semi-formal or something very formal. They both sound quite literary as well. So what about the origins of this word? Well, inveigh comes from Latin in, veigh, meaning to ride, to drive, to carry, as in vehicle. Yeah, a vehicle moves you. So I guess that is the idea of complaining. And then to inveigle comes to English from French, aveugler, meaning to blind, which comes from Latin, ab oculis, so away from the eyes, not seeing. Okay, and that clearly gives us the idea of trickery. Okay, so he inveighed against what he considered to be unfair. He inveighed against the system that didn't treat people fairly. And then to inveigle, to trick someone into doing something. Yeah, to persuade them with flattery, with trickery, or something like that. The advertisement inveigled me into believing that this was the best product ever. And after I bought it and realized it was a terrible product, I started to inveigh against this product to everyone that I knew. Speak angrily and strongly. So there you go, 2 new words for your vocabulary. Inveigh, notice the G is silent, and inveigle, the G you can hear. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. To inveigh and to inveigle. Bye for now.